Friends, we have learned in the previous videos that neither does the Quran instruct the Muslims to kill all disbelievers, nor does it allow forced conversions. What then is jihad? A word that is often quoted to show the Quran and Islam in bad light. Let us understand jihad today. Jihad means to exert one's utmost endeavor in furthering a cause. This is the dictionary meaning of jihad, to exert one's utmost endeavor in furthering a cause. Anyone who exhausts all his time, money, effort, skills, and resources in pursuing anything, he engages in jihad. Be it a student preparing for his examination, a merchant trying to sell his wares, a person overcoming his own sinful temptations, or a soldier trying to win a battle. The jihad referred to in Islamic literature, the Quran and the Hadith, is jihad fi sabilillah. This is a terminology which means jihad in the way of God. That is, to exert one's utmost endeavor in furthering the cause of God, to further the cause of Islam, submission to God's will. This can be by means of speech, it can be by means of writing, seminars, symposia, legislation, litigations, diplomatic channels, and if required, with arms. The motive of the Mujahideen are those who engage in jihad. The motive of the Mujahideen in all these would be to establish peace and justice. Whether it is by speech, by writing, by seminars, by symposia, by litigation, by legislation, by diplomatic channels, or if required, an armed struggle, the motive in each of these cases would be nothing other than to establish peace and justice, with no ulterior motive or vested interest attached. Yes, Muslim armies did conquer large swathes of land, but that was not to convert people to Islam. That was to overthrow cruel regimes and allow the people of those lands to breathe in the air of liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. Allow me to quote an ayat from Surah Nisa. The 75th ayat of Surah Nisa says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما لكم لا تقاتلون في سبيل الله والمستضعفين من الرجال والنساء والولدان الذين يقولون ربنا أخرجنا من هذه قرية الظالم أهلها واجعل لنا من لدنك وليا واجعل لنا من لدنك نصيرا. What this means is God is saying, why do you not fight in the cause of God for those who are oppressed among women, from men and women and children who cry out, "Our Lord, rescue us from this town of oppressed people, and appoint for us from yourself a protector, and appoint for us from yourself a helper." When these lands came under Muslim governance, the people were offered complete freedom of religion. Those who grew fond of Islam accepted it of their own free will, and those who did not want to did not. Branding acts of terrorism as jihad is the product of Orientalist propaganda. Joining or equating jihad with terrorism, this is something which is a part of Orientalist propaganda. So we have obscure terms being coined these days. Like we have love jihad and education jihad and corona jihad and whatnot. A lady who accepts Islam and marries a man of her own choice is condemned as love jihad. Muslims pursuing education is called education jihad. And Muslims falling prey to COVID-19 pandemic have been derided as corona jihad. Now, educated and wise men can see through this wild propaganda. It is, alas, the ignorant mobs that fall for it. Terrorism is another word that is selectively used in today's world. Any act of aggression, legitimate or illegitimate, committed by a Muslim makes him a terrorist. And you would agree that wherever there's a non-Muslim who goes on a shooting spree is conveniently called a lone wolf, a mentally disturbed youth, or an emotionally charged young man. Muslims are held collectively accountable for every act of terrorism on earth and made to apologetically condemn it. This is the effect of mass propaganda against Islam. These dual standards that the West has. Islam, in fact, literally means peace. Islam means peace. The Quran very explicitly says this. In the fifth chapter, Surah Maida, the 32nd ayat, I'll read it out. God says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. What does this mean? God is saying that he who kills a single person, it is as if he has killed the entire mankind. And he who saves a single life, it is as if he has saved the life of the entire mankind. Terrorism has no place in Islam. I'm making a very categorical statement. Terrorism has no place in Islam. No Muslim civilian can murder any person, irrespective of the latter's religion, be it he be Muslim or non-Muslim. He cannot murder any person. It is only the court of law that reserves the authority to sentence a convict to death. Even the wars fought in Islam are bound by rules and conventions, whereby protection is extended to the non-combatants. The non-combatants are not killed. The women, the elderly, the children, even the priests of all religions, they are not killed. Their places of worship and even their crops and cattle, they are not damaged. Only the combatants are killed, with utmost care taken to keep the number of casualties at a very bare minimum. This is all about jihad, and this is all about falsely associating jihad with terrorism. This is the reason why I have been saying that it is very important for us to know the truth from authentic sources. And we should never allow decisive forces to plant the seeds of enmity and distrust amongst us. Thank you.